Chairman, it's a pleasure to serve today, and I congratulate my near neighbour and colleague for bringing this important debate. I have regular contact with the Rail Minister, who is absolutely excellent. I'll just run through some of the projects that we have locally. We are trying to reopen Bristol Road Stonehouse line, which was closed under the Beechings cut, to make sure that we have access into Bristol. This is a 25-year dream of my constituents. I grasped it. We managed to get investment from government to do a proper feasibility study. I'm waiting for government and the Minister to give us the next stage about the outline business case information. And I understood that was going to be before Christmas, so it would be helpful for my constituents to hear a little bit more about that, particularly Stonehouse Town Council, who are working really, really hard. Step-free access at Stroud Railway Station. There is a lasting image. If you could, a picture is better than 1,000 words of me dragging up a toddler, a buggy, and trying to balance a baby, and all sorts of different things. So I have huge sympathy with people that tell me that they are struggling to get around the station, who are disabled, who have luggage, who are elderly, and we're really hoping to be in the access for all pitch. So again, just putting that underneath the Minister's nose. For our Cam and Dursley station, I've made a pitch, speaking to GWR and others, about the reality of that this is a really popular station. We've got a lot of homes being built around the area. We think there needs to be improved shelters for rain and all weathers. And also I know that some constituents would like to see the frequency of services increased as we go along. Now, I do want to sort of echo colleagues' comments about GWR. They may disagree, because I know I am a total pest about railway on behalf of my constituents, but I do feel I have a good relationship with the organisation and indeed Network Rail. I've had calls to contact them many, many times, sometimes just for sort of more run-of-the-mill day-to-day things, but sometimes for sad where there's been deaths on the lines, and we've had good responses, and they are responsive. So I am pleased about that. The one thing I do want to mention is about costs. Now, we have a situation in Stroud where constituents are talking to me about the difference between the cost of travelling from Stroud to London and other lines. So at the moment, a peak fare single one way, £95 one way. I mean, this is absolutely prohibitive for people that want to travel to work, and I know many more people are working at home, but there should be more choice. And then off peak we get to £46, then down to 33 at 10:30. Now, a Worcester to London line, which is a longer journey and a further journey, at 7 a.m. when I had my £95 ticket, that's £50. Now, I understand that there's boundaries drawn up for Network Rail. These are historic, and I've written to the Minister. He's kindly written back and talked to me about writing to the Rail Delivery Group. But I do think these historic boundaries and the unfairnesses that are built in for my constituents do need to be looked at. And one gentleman wrote to me, he said, "I'm really concerned by crippling rail costs. It's proving more and more difficult for me as a freelancer to be able to commute into London because the costs are just astronomical. If areas such as ours are going to be cut off from the rest of the country, a cheaper rail network is vital. They could operate within the rail network, allowing people like me to take advantage of Network Rail cards. That was greatly improved costs for rail fares within the south of England. Currently, this is only reserved as far as Reading, but doesn't stretch to the rest of the day." So I do urge the Minister to have a look at that. I urge all of the companies, because I think if it's prohibitive to get on the trains, then we will lose a service and it will become the preserve of the rich, and that absolutely shouldn't be the case. But I thank you for the time today.